not quite 2 yards.
So when I'm working from classes, it depends on how much I'm doing, and then when I'm at home, I actually tie off the whatever I'm using.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
'Cause it's just like, oh, this is minimal.
Hello, welcome. We are surrounded because there's so much potential, so many possibilities.
I
So
had
many
fun shopping.
pumpkin possibilities. Oh my God. Marcia brought half the store upstairs.
I did make a list. If Jennifer and Sassy are watching, though, I have a whole huge container. You can see it. There. It has things.
I know it's
We have so many things.
It's the problem because they can be anything. And so last night I had some friends over because one of my friends saw our advertisement for the Felt-Along somewhere. I don't know if she got the newsletter, local friend. And she was like, then she went onto the website and started adding things to her cart. And then she's like, wait a minute, I know her. So she texted me and she's like, can you help me make a pumpkin? And I was like, yeah, that would be fun. And then we made it into a get together.
I love those.
It was really fun, which I haven't done in a long time, but it was super low key. But what was neat was I did it a little more demo style, like this is the way, you make the ball. And so I had everybody make 3 of these. And like right away, they were making like interesting shapes and I'm all like slave to the system.
I know. I'm like,
you know?
make a ball. You tie it like this.
And so they all end up the same. And then, so everybody made 3, and then we all made 3 stems. I did not do the fancy
The twisty
swirly technique. I just did the regular. And then we made 3 stems, and then I showed them 3 different ways to finish with the color.
Nice.
So one was doing the yarn and making your sections, and then just adding sections of top coat. The other one was taking your ball, wrapping it in top coat, stabbing it a bit, and then doing the yarn. The yarn shows a little more that way. And then the third one was making sections on the Zuli tool, which makes like a much more segmented and irregular, like because I made some skinny ones, and so anyway, they had a great time, and I got really inspired because I was looking around and they were doing things that I've never even dreamed of doing.
I think that's one of
so that was fun.
the fun things about teaching too is, when you have people that haven't done it before, they bring all this new creative energy to it, and you're just like, well, you could try that. Let's see how that works out. And you're like, oh.
And then I found myself being like starting to say, no, and then I was like,
do what you want.
Yeah, do what
Make
you
it,
want.
have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a certain way.
Right. So we today are going to just make some pumpkins along with you guys and chat and share some of the techniques that we're using. Yeah.
Should probably show people some product if people are new and just getting started. Really good places to begin.
The pumpkin supply pack is one of our biggest supply packs, if not the biggest, in terms of weight.
And what comes in with it.
It makes many pumpkins depending on what size you make them, and just a great place to start. The neat thing about pumpkins, like nests and little gnomes, is that you can use little bits of what you have. In fact, I took my crowd downstairs and let them invade the Wool Bits bag yesterday.
I like to make really little things, and I found that all the little scraps of wool that I've had over the years, like I just kind of hoard it in a little bin. And last year when I was making some pumpkins, I wanted to make some bigger ones, and I didn't want to just use like all the core wool, so I actually took.
Let's hear.
That was a gift for Trisha. She missed my face.
She hasn't said a peep yet.
She's so I took all the little scraps and I put them together, and then I took the core wool and I wrapped it around it. That way I could use those extra scraps to make a bigger bodied pumpkin without using all of the, organized walls.
Yeah.
Some of them may have some armature weirdness in them, like some of my pumpkins that are bigger.
Oh, like
weird
like a shape that you
things
made
that I
you
wrapped, or
used.
things that I'm like, oh, that came out really bad, and so I'm like, just
You
kind of
just like take
like,
armatures and
bunch
roll
it in
them
there,
up.
put them all in there with the
Oh
wool,
my
and
God.
you know.
Pumpkins, the trash can of the
Why
project.
not, right? I mean, it's a bunch of extra stuff. So yeah.
I have off-white chunky core, which is what I'm going to use. We also have some pumpkin, which the pumpkin core now is not chunky, so you have to double it or just use
Okay.
more.
Okay.
And then as far as top coat goes, we do have the house carded pumpkin colors. There's full moon, harvest moon, and blue moon, which are all beautiful. We got into all kinds of the 40 top coat colors last night. You could add merino. I'm using olive for stems. I think we might right now have a shortage on vine.
I think Sassy just made a bunch, so
Okay,
they should be listed online. These
Okay.
are those 4, but I had to pick these up, Sarah.
Okay. So these are limited thing. These are just little bundles that we made
of different top
colors.
coats that we
Yeah,
carry.
yeah.
But it's a
This
really
would be really pretty in it. The
that's.
rhubarb.
I was thinking, I was like, these just have to be whether you're
Yeah.
blending them, and that's pomegranate,
Yeah.
and then sage and redwood. Just the
Yeah.
top coats are
This
amazing.
I tried to sort of make. I didn't realize we had it. I was trying to get that like fleshy peach. Color.
And so, if you're shopping for stuff, the top coats are fantastic. The house carded, there are so many different colors in there.
Yeah.
And like this morning before I came in, I was working on a couple pumpkins. And when I do the stems, I like to do the twisted stem. And I was like, what if I did a gradation?
Mm-hmm.
So that little guy over there, he has like a nice light green to
Very
brown
cool.
and like a darker green. And I'm going to actually do that on
I
film
might
today.
try that too.
Yeah, because I was like, pumpkins, they're just so different. I love the stems that are.
I also
over
want to
there.
find a way to get some of this texture that's in the stem.
Jen did something. Jennifer
Okay.
did something.
I'm gonna
It
mess
was
with
really
that.
cool
Yeah.
last year. It was. She's awesome with her with what she does too. So.
Am I getting rained out?
I think that might be for. I don't know. I think there might be another Sarah.
I was just like, oh, are there? Oh, gotcha. Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is. I just was looking over to see if there were any questions, and it said, Sarah, are you getting
It's
rained out?
sunny.
And I'm like, no, I'm here.
I'm like, it's actually pretty
Sun
warm
is
out there.
shining. So, all right, I'm gonna start with. I start with like a yard, like 36 inches of off-white chunky core,
I'll go with the orange.
and I like the knot technique.
Oh
But
yeah, that is.
I
fun.
also gotten so used to wrapping tightly. If I can tell myself not to wrap as tightly, then the yarn makes like bigger dents.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yeah. There's
So
so
I'm
many
gonna
things.
try to wrap a
So-
little more loosely.
And I've got these teeny tiny itty bitty ones, too, which.
Yeah.
Something that's thinner like this, actually, when I'm making stuff that's small like this,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to, if I'm using off-white chunky core, I'll tend to break it into thirds or quarters because it's so thick.
We have so many tutorials on pumpkins. I'm not really trying to like
Reach.
step by step it. Yeah, is that okay?
Lee said, "Don't forget that neps are also awesome." on
Yes, I
pumpkins.
have neps, and
Yeah.
I put neps on.
And Polly just
Um,
asked, "How would you get him to stay on?"
Okay, I will show that.
This
I will
actually is
definitely
really
do
good.
that. Yeah.
Are we on?
I don't know if we're on overhead yet. Are we
Not
on
yet.
overhead? Okay.
Okay.
So I'll. Thanks, Talbot. Yeah, I thought I brought some over, but a couple bags would be good.
That's a lot of that.
It does look
crinkly.
really cool. When we go on overhead, I'll show the neps and I'll show the little white lock lumps too. But any locks could make lumps.
Yeah, and in my brain, I'm so like, everything should be this way and this way. Like, if I'm making bigger pumpkins, I tend to use the pumpkin locks. So we have pumpkin patch, squash blossoms, twilight tendrils, and divine, which are adult sheep curls. So they're bigger in size. So for me, I'm like in my brain, like, oh, I like the bigger curls with the bigger pumpkins. And then I use the fiber art locks when I'm doing these tiny ones because they're little lamb locks.
So I kind of want to make a tiny pumpkin, but I think I'm gonna actually make a pretty big pumpkin so that it shows up well, and so that I can try different techniques
Yeah.
on it.
So I'm actually folding that one in half at the end,
Okay.
and then are we on overhead, Talbot?
Yep, I can switch to.
Okay.
Thanks.
So I'll show, just because with this being a little bit thinner, to start it out to get that little bit of a knot, I want it to be a bit more substantial, so I have less work to do.
Okay, so I'm trying not to wrap tightly.
Oh my gosh, I'll make a teeny tiny one.
All right, you make a teeny tiny.
You could just push up a little bit forward.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
So I'm just doing the same technique where you just roll it up.
What?
People are requesting that I go on camera.
Come on,
You
Talbot.
gotta see Talbot's
Come
face.
on around here. Gotta give them what they want, man. Do I want vertical? Like a tall one? I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, those I find are a little more
There
hard
he is.
to, wait, are we on
He's
overhead
like-
anyway?
he's like,
Wait, we're on overhead, so that, wait,
no, there's
you
a
can see
corner.
both.
He was
Okay.
in the
I
corner.
was like, are you being sneaky?
There's a 1-inch Talbot.
They do want to see your tiny pumpkin.
Oh yeah. So there's some little ones. Look how cute they are.
They're tiny, and so,
So sweet.
wait, there's the key. And these have the,
I'm like, which way?
so this is the one I'm working on, and you can see there's the one that, I've got. I mean, you can make them. These are great. I like to put the fire line in it or some kind of string so that you can hang them.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that hand spun that I made might be cool
Oh,
as like
The over top of the colors.
over the
Because then you can see it.
as the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
There's so many things.
I know. So now I want to make this white. I think I don't have too much white left.
Here's a bunch.
I mean the full moon.
Okay, I did grab another one, so if
Okay.
you need it, we
I might be okay.
can use that.
So I think I'm going to use the wrap and then yarn technique.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
With little ones like this, I do like putting the top coat on, but some of our core is so yummy that you can even, if you wanted to just make them like that, you could, but
Yes.
I do like using things. So this, sometimes what I'll do is when I pull them off, I like to have it a little more to restack sometimes. I think this is just a habit from doing it in sections, but with this, I'm just going to go around.
Now this is going to be a little bit time consuming because I'm going to have to stab a bit. What's happening, Kyla? You're very quiet. Any questions? But you're typing.
There's not really a lot of questions.
Okay.
I'm multitasking with some email-y questions.
Oh, okay. Maybe you guys
I
are
like
felting.
that you're spinning.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the yarn.
Holly made a door wreath with a witch and thinks a tiny pumpkin would be good.
Yes,
Definitely.
that would be great. Yeah, and it's that trick of working with anything tiny is not to stab yourself.
There's lots of stabbing going on here last night.
Mm-hmm. It's always funny with people who have never needle felted before, and I always, whenever I teach a class, I always bring Band-Aids just in case.
Definitely. Can I have some of that rhubarb?
That is the
Well, we
the
have
pomegranate.
one- I'm sorry, pomegranate.
Is that this one?
Pomegranate, yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ooh, we have someone on jokes.
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
get when you drop a pumpkin?
Squash.
That was fast. That was good.
I'm mixing
I'm sure.
pomegranate. Was I right?
Yep.
I'm mixing pomegranate and full moon.
So sometimes after I stab, I'll just roll it in my hand to get it,
Smooth.
yeah, a little bit more smooth and less dented. So that's the little one right there.
Trisha has a felted haunted house and she needs a tiny one. I'm guessing she needs a tiny, tiny one.
Yeah.
Trisha started this house. Yeah. I can't wait to see it. I'm like, how are you? It's an armature frame. And I think she's gonna felt the walls and sides. So I'm
okay.
very, very curious to see how it comes together.
I'm making a 6-lobe pumpkin and just with the twine, tying the first double knot to cut it into half, section it into half, and then I'm gonna pull tight.
Do my finger?
I'm actually, you know me and my little,
You have your ways.
I'm so detailed with my fingers with everything that I do. It's like having like extra hands, but fingers.
That's your superpower.
It is. Don't let me poke you with my finger. It's very strong. Although, this is really fun. I like using yarn. I usually will like grab whatever kind of twine I have,
Okay.
but that
Yeah. Cute.
that's
Cute
just
already.
a quick little one. I have no idea where I put the snippy scissors.
Oh, I have them. That's
Oh.
why.
Someone asked if you just said pull my finger.
Poke, poke. Oh yeah.
That would be something Marsha would say.
That would, well, I grew up in an Italian family and that was like the uncle joke from everybody.
The uncle- the
It's so
uncle
bad.
How many parts does a pumpkin usually have? Which sounds like a joke, but I don't think it's a joke.
It can be.
It's an actual
So this
question.
big one over here is all, and it's all random. Like nothing's even. I don't know if there's a, like any sort
Scientific?
of scientific like thing to it. Like it's gonna have as many bumps as it has.
Yeah, it makes me wonder because I know with insects, like you go to that and there's, in animals, you know, you're like, okay, well, insects have 6 legs, 3 body parts and stuff like that. But when you're into plants and fruits, you know, I guess genetically they can vary probably depending on what kind of conditions they grow in, what they've been cross-pollinated with. They had, well, I guess if they don't get pollination, they don't form pumpkins. So I'm just going in now. I'm not going to do anything else with this other than put a little stem on it.
Okay.
But I'm just kind of re-establishing those little lobes.
I am trying to be random, which I'm not super adept at doing.
So when I'm teaching classes, we always do a 6-lobed pumpkin. I don't know why. I think maybe when you're beginning, it's like you're ready to move on to the next one. Like you're excited, you're doing things.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like if you're doing this technique where you have the corbel, you tie it. If you have 6 segments, it's like you're ready to move on to the next
Yeah.
one by the time you're
Eight's too
done.
much.
8 is too much. I don't know why it is.
But
It's
we did 8 last night.
Yeah.
I
And
overwhelmed the people.
it happens. So the yarn, depending on, I guess, on what yarn you have, if I left this longer, I could take it and then keep twisting, and then it might do this really fun little twist
Yeah,
of yarn, you
cool.
know, depending on what you're doing.
Marcia, do you ever use a grab and stab when you're working that small?
I have one. I do not when I'm doing, because this is such a bulbous shape, but when I'm doing like the tiny bunnies or tiny mice, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do, because those I tend to want to hold in my hand a bit more. This is more on the surface.
Did you say we do have more full moon?
Yes,
up
we
here?
do.
Oh my gosh, Milo's trying to lay in the wool. Because one thing, I'm just kind of playing with stuff here. I want to make the dent and like the dent for the stem and the rise. So I'm just playing with some combination of techniques here.
Someone said the full moon looks like it has a little pinkish hue to it, which it actually kind of looks like that on the screen.
Oh, it might be the lights
definitely
then.
is cream. It's a glowy cream, but
It glows because I'll tell you what. Why? I think it does have a.
it really looks pinkish.
I think it does have a light pink in it, and
So maybe the camera's super.
it
pink.
has a light green in it, and so I think there's about 3 light colored colors in it, and it
Okay.
balances out to just glow, like to just cream.
I feel like the camera's picking that up extra compared to
Okay.
what your eyeball sees in person.
Okay.
Like what's on the felting surface almost looks pinkish.
No, it's the lights.
It's the lights.
Yeah.
It is more dynamic than like Off-White Junkie Core though,
Yeah.
as far as some depth of color.
And it's really smooth too. For, it's not so fuzzy. So it really is so soft.
This is gonna be a pain in the butt. I'm not gonna do that.
Hey,
I'm gonna
save
do-
that for an inside part.
I'm going to do a taco. You'll see. And then I'm probably gonna trash that.
More innards. So we were Sarah and I were talking earlier about like how long do you make your string when you're going to make your pumpkins, and so when I'm teaching I pre-cut lengths that are usually like, it depends on how much wool I'm going to go. I will dry fit it to see and then leave it a little longer because you have to tie it and it's nice to have a tail. But when I'm working from home and I'm making a bunch of pumpkins, I'll just leave my string attached and then just go through.
Are we yellow?
Yeah, I'm tweaking stuff.
Sorry, everybody. Talbot's playing with the color balance.
woozy here today. Although I'm glad you did put the air on. The lights are hot in here.
It is hot.
So this one I'm going to just do a little 4-lobe pumpkin.
Ooh.
Just because it's going to be really simple. I really want to play with some of these, the candy type of colors. What do we call these, Kyla? These.
They all have different names.
There's
They're sort of like holiday bundles.
I have, this is sorbet. No, this is sorbet. This is orchard. And then we have candy corn and Halloween too.
Candy, corny candy,
Oh yes.
and Halloween.
And Halloween.
Halloweeny.
I wanna do-
I don't know what it's gonna be.
I-
I think it might be Halloweeny.
I think it is Halloweeny.
I absolutely love. It's like all the colors in one little bundle, and I can take them and just play with them.
Do you have a pink pumpkin out there? You need to show these.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
It's like anything goes with the
Oh
colors.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So cute.
So, a few years ago, when we started to do those samplers, which we don't have anymore, but we were using some of the top coats, and Jennifer and I were blending some, and then, gosh, that's when we were all in the attic in that little tiny room before we had the second building, and we were playing around.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was a few, I can't remember some of the colors, but we blended some of the top coat colors, and we were like, check them out. And you can make so many colors. I love them.
What are you doing, Sarah?
I'm
Someone
just-
wants to know.
I am just failing. I'm experimenting and failing, but it's not a fail because something's gonna happen. But well, I'm just trying to get that.
Like how it goes down.
Yeah, without like in a simple step. Well, you'll see. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Do you want your stem underneath of it or over top of it too? That might be. Or is that the side? Oh, no, that's the top. It's like, you could chew. Oh, like, wait, do you have big
I
boards?
feel
you
like
doing?
I feel like the 4-year-old who's like, "Look, mom, look at my drawing," and the mom's like, "That's a really nice giraffe," and then she's like, "No, it's a
squirrel.
it's a lobster."
Mm-hmm. Well, some pumpkins are so warty and they're just so gnarly. And I was like, oh, are you doing like a side thing on there?
I'm trying to make up a technique on the fly. What
Mm.
what I should have done is put my pinks on, but I should have waited. And I need an implement with like way more kabang. So it's gonna, you know, I'm here to. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was like Edward from Twilight.
A lot of Twilight
I'm telling you, my
references
finger is
lately.
like, here's your pumpkin. Ooh, I'm taking
I
all
do
this
have
with me.
Twilight on the brain.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Why not?
October's coming.
Yeah.
The collar around the stem is the dedicated ovary,
Oh.
according to Laura. She has a lot of very scientific knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's gonna work. It's working.
All right, I'm grabbing some random colors from here. Ooh. Oh. This is fun. I love these little palettes that come together.
Kyla, can I ask you a big favor?
Yeah.
Since I'm tucked away.
Yep.
That hand spun is hanging on the hooks.
Uh-huh. Green handspun?
And this is the orchard.
Yeah.
I love these colors, and you know, if down the road we're sold out of these, you can buy the top coats and make your own little blend.
Okay, it's gonna. I think that sort of worked, right?
Oh yeah, look at that. Mm-hmm.
Now this might not work, but that's okay.
Looks like it had some sour candy.
I might need to find a.
Oh, the pucker.
I might need to find a spot that doesn't have white.
How firm should the wool be before tying the yarn?
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. I was kind of making things my usual firmness, and then it was hard to get the
To-
dense.
Okay.
The not the dense, the D-E-N-T.
For the lobes.
Yes, and so a little softer than I would usually work, but still even and well formed. You want it.
You usually say fresh bagel consistency.
Yes.
It's like a New York bagel, like a really nice.
Untoasted.
Yes, untoasted, so not crispy outside, but that body is just so good.
All right, I'm not going to cut this because I don't know if I want to use it or not. No, I don't want to use it, but I might use it to make a few little warts. So I'm going to keep it nearby.
Do you have your other regular?
So I'm going to
yarn?
use the regular yarn.
So I just finger blended this. This is the orchard blend. I just picked up some and then I cut it in half because with these teeny tiny pumpkins.
Now, since it's soft, I can really give it many squeezes.
Do you need my finger? It's very
I probably
strong.
will need your strong finger. Your strong adept.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just let me know.
I don't know.
When placing the twine, do you knot it after each section?
I just twist. So I'm here. I want to get one more section. So I'm just going to turn the pumpkin until I'm getting another section.
You could knot it.
I
You don't have
You
to.
could. It gets a little fiddly, but it is nice to knot it, either when you start or once in a while, just to make sure that it's all like staying where you want it. And there, I just knotted it before I do one more. So I want to get here and maybe here.
And I
Okay.
typically do knot things. Here we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So I went for a little more kind of weird and random.
I like those pumpkins the best, I think. Oh, you need these?
now I need the little snips. I have a lot of irregularity. Like this is like a weird small section, but I'm gonna leave it like that. So now I'm just going to, and this is like a real big one. So I'm just gonna stab it some more, accentuating what just happened somewhat randomly. And I lost my height. It's like you have to keep reminding it that you want it to be a tall pumpkin.
I had a lady one time in a class who stacked a couple of them on top of themselves, and I think she maybe tied it with twine to get it to stay more vertical. And it was the weirdest, like, coolest.
So she stacked the balls.
So yeah, so she
before
made a couple, and then like
Okay.
then she covered it with more top coat to make it look like a very tall, bigger
Okay.
bulbous pumpkin. So I think she tied them, the two balls together. Really made it.
So I kind of like that, what that taco did up there. Because otherwise it
Ooh.
wouldn't have this
There's yeah.
bump, you know?
So now is that going to be the top or the bottom?
That's the top.
I'm thinking people are gonna have to watch the video twice. Like once looking at Sarah's stat, and once Marsha's.
It could
Yeah.
be. I was in a little like primitive country shop last weekend and I was like, oh, needle felted pumpkins. And they were so loosely done. Like they were
Ugh.
just like barely sort of put together. They looked cool.
Yeah.
But so it was interesting to see, you know, different.
And I'm so controlling. I have
Yeah.
to have mine nice and tight. Like
Yeah.
the other night when I was teaching, it was really funny because we were talking about different stages and different pumpkins, and so there were a few of us around the table, and we were able to like just toss the pumpkins back and forth. It was like being a kid again.
Yeah.
Catch my pumpkin.
So when you do it this way, like putting the top coat on and then wrapping with the yarn, you see the yarn more, which I like. In this case, I like, you know, the color combo and that it's there.
Yeah. So one of the things I like doing at the bottoms, this one's a little, I cut the fibers too short, but if I had kept them longer, when I take it from the top, which I'm going to cover with the stem, and I take it to the bottom, then you can make like really cool spirals and other designs on the bottom.
Yeah.
And at home, I've never looked at the bottom of my pumpkins, but I think that if you have any of those people who are curious, you're like, "Ooh, what are these?" and they look at it, then they're gonna look at the bottoms. It's kind of like looking at the bottom of ceramic pots. Like there's a potter in your midst when you pick up things and you immediately look at the bottoms.
Yeah.
How well done is this?
Trisha asked if anyone has seen The House on Netflix.
Mm-mm.
No.
Is
tell
it
us.
a spooky thing?
It's very scary,
Oh.
I think.
I'm chicken when it comes to scary
Yeah, I
things.
don't do scary. You're on your own, Trish.
Ugh.
So I was looking for neps that I want, and I don't really have the color that I want, but I will put neps. I'll make another little one and do the neps on it.
Really, any yarn works, but it could be twine. Ideally, it would have some wool in it.
I think wool's nice because then it just felts. Just if you need it to felt, if you need to stab it, it can felt. I'm gonna try making some weird warts out of this yarn. Might be a little bit too big.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You could do that. Could you do it with curls as well if you wanted to?
Yeah, I was just looking at the curls, but I kind of wanted this faded color. And I didn't see that in what we have out here.
Well, you know, I did bring up half the shop.
I
did.
Actually, I think locks would be better.
So little teeny tiny stems. Did you bring up any stem colors in your little stash
yes.
over there?
I have cocoa and olive.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and I also have moss, which we were using. Like a couple of these little pumpkins have pretty green stems, which
Yeah.
is really cute.
They have a lot. Oh, so from
Oh,
home.
look at
Sorry,
no
I
shortage.
forgot.
No shortage of stems.
So one of the things. So if I'm working on a bunch of pumpkins together, I work in stages. So I make a bunch of balls, and then I do the twisted. I do the knots with the twine. Sometimes I just sit around and I play with different colors and I make all kinds of different stems. These are different blends from all the different top coats that I have. You can see some are definitely more green. I probably brought these in the last time we did that part of the tutorial. And whenever I'm working, I always, when I have my stem, if my pumpkin has 6 lobes, I will take all the fuzz at the bottom and I'll split it into half, pull it apart, and then I split it into thirds. And that makes the tendrils that go down,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And you have some that you like do little twirls with them.
Mm-hmm.
I usually stick those into the grooves.
Yeah.
But you usually put them on the outside.
I put them. I like them on the outside of the stem, and then if I'm going to do a face, what I've been trying to. I googled little pumpkin like faces just to see, and some of them I was like, okay, that's way too complicated, and so I just went with some simple ones. But then I wanted to think about when I'm tacking this down, is it going to be like a little loop on their, on their head, on their cheek? Is it going to just kind of go to the side? I mean, you can make some really funny looking pumpkins too. And I know Lee does all the shapes of the faces, which is a really good way to practice.
Well, I haven't done faces in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to make a textured stem.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm using olive,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna use the taco technique.
Laura she said restocking. I think restacking. All those leftover bits create great stem colors.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot of stems, Marsha. I'm like, I just watched you pull them off.
I sit and I make, and then I demo for classes, and then I end up having
Extras.
a lot. Yeah.
I'm putting.
Sarah, they feel like it's not a failure, by the way.
Oh, so well. I don't know. Thank you. Can I have a little bit of cocoa?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going vertically, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a darker striation in here, and we're just going to see what happens. It's not a failure because you guys might see what you don't want to do.
Always good like that.
Yeah. So I have olive and locks and cocoa, but anything that gives it a little vertical striping, like it's the slightly darker than your stem color. Yeah, I feel like oh, you know what I could do? I'll do some white neps on here. That'll be good. And Kyla, they are in the bin. Oh, it's in the bin that's your desk maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
White neps. There's a big bag on them.
Do you want the big bag or a handful?
A handful would be great.
There you go.
Thank you. So I have folded my stem over. Now I'm going to roll it. As usual, I'm going to unroll it. Now I'm going to unroll it. It always takes more than you think. Like, so I thought I had everything pretty well lined up there, but like, it needs more pieces.
Someone's trying to make a hollow pumpkin by needle felting instead of wet felting.
Good luck.
Uses armature bits.
That would be hard, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna loud punch it for a second. Put one more on the edge here.
You know, I could just seriously like
Ooh.
make these for hours.
Yeah, I'm happy with this.
Like,
About how much did you fold over there?
I folded over, my original piece was maybe like 5 or 6 inches, and I folded over 2 inches. It doesn't really matter. It's just how long do you want your stem to be, really?
You have one end fuzzy? Yeah.
Well, that's just because I added more locks. Originally,
No, the one end for
oh
attaching is
yeah,
not
one end
folded
for
over.
attaching it is fuzzy.
Well, that's cool looking.
It is cool looking, and what's going to be cool is that I have some of the locks facing down, so they can go out onto the pumpkin. I'll pull a little bit of this off the core, the core. Can you guys see that?
Someone said her stem is taking longer than the pumpkin.
That we had that last night. Everyone said the pumpkins were easy. This part's hard. I think getting it to look the way you want. Making them long and skinny was kind of tricky because you just need a lot narrower piece of fiber and to roll it really tightly. You could totally use a wire and wrap a wire if you really wanted a refined, thin look.
That's yet another thing that locks do.
Yep. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Create that texture. It's very cool.
Okay. Neps. This pumpkin is a little, it's like a sampler of pumpkins. So I'm going to use just white, and so that it's not, The other ones just were too dark against the white, I felt like. And I just want to spread them out. And then I want to take a real gossamer layer of my top coat color. I'm mixing the pomegranate with some full moon.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say thin, I mean like really, really web it out. And then you lay that over your neps and then stab everywhere but where the neps are. If you stab into a nep, it wants to stick to your needle and it just pulls it
Like
off,
that?
like I just did. Yeah. So I'm trying to stab around them, and the web is like a little net that holds it in.
It's really gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Are you using the pomegranate to cover it or the?
I mixed pomegranate and full moon.
Okay.
And all the real pumpkins that I have here today do have warts on them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these guys have the same colors, but sometimes they have like that
Big,
real
yeah.
natural, like orange, like tan color, or
The segments are all thick, thin. Some stick out further than others. Like they're.
Mm-hmm. What you got going on over there? Oh, look
making
at that!
little teeny tiny.
That's so sweet.
Hold on my water real quick, Carly. I tell you, I'm like just sitting here like making and breathing in fibers. And talked way too much yesterday. So yeah, this is just the cocoa, which the core wool, using that as a stem this small works really well, because if you have the top coat fibers, they're so much longer, you have to cut them down. Excuse me.
I can't wait to see everybody's pumpkins. We've been seeing a lot already, which is awesome.
I'm curious to see them on different social media platforms.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy with this stem, so I can decide whether to shoot the block ends down onto the pumpkin, but I think I'm just gonna leave them. See how they're just kind of
They're
sticking
like
up?
tendrils almost.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, when you look at the pumpkins that are cut, the stems don't go everywhere. They're just kind of encompassed. I guess it's the vine part. That's what. No leaves.
They're trying to say net 3 times
Nep
fast.
net is
3 times fast.
nep nope.
I'm glad that came out.
All right, this is a very random creation.
That stem is awesome.
I'm digging the stem, so now I want to try that again.
It's really cool how the locks, the crinkles in the locks really give it that texture.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I lost my
Divot.
that poof that I was going for, but does have a little bit more interest, I feel like, because I did that.
Well, I was wondering too, like direction wise, like if you did the stem, put it on there first, and then did the taco,
Yep.
and then you could stab that. It's really fun to try out different things like that.
So this guy's pretty. This is pretty soft for me. So I'm gonna try my usual way, which is the. Did you put top coat on yours?
So I did. I used the orange, and then this one I blended the orchard. I just took it and made little finger blends. This one I just used the harvest. That's cool.
It's
Texture.
it's something. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure about the blue.
That's a crazy curl.
Oh,
It just wants to hang out.
that is so sweet. I took the blue off.
I love, this is the fig fiber art locks.
They are so pretty. Fig's one of my favorites, and succulents.
Mm-hmm. Every time I dye different ones, I'm like, oh, this one. Ooh,
Yeah.
that one. And I'm like, I cannot buy more locks. Put these into inventory. Oh, yeah. They're fun. I want to do that gradation.
Is there moths?
That I don't want to touch, so let's see. See, having fun over there.
Oh, I was hunting for something. Nope, too dark. Too dark on the white. Alright, I'm gonna set this one aside because I don't know what it needs. And I don't want to start randomly adding things. Which is sort of how it went the whole way, but that's okay.
Man, he is really going to town over
I
there.
know, there must be something under.
Super smelly. In fact, it was just extra frisky. So I think for the gradation for the stem,
Can I have
no,
pumpkin
Nope.
for?
yes,
Do you have it or do
I do.
have it?
It's right over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the light to the darker tones.
So what'd you do? You tied a knot in the end? And
Yeah,
then
just to thicken
wrapped
it up
the
a
knot?
bit and double wrapped it a little bit for a little while anyway.
Yeah.
You making a stem there, Marcia?
Yeah, I'm playing around with some colors to work on the gradation effect. I should probably make it bigger, but you know me. I am gonna make it a bit bigger.
When's the last time you made a pumpkin, Kyla?
That's a good question.
I hadn't made one in a long time.
2 years maybe?
Yeah. Oh, weren't you teaching recently?
Ness took over pumpkins. No.
What did you take the foam
Oh,
for?
we're gonna do little acorn caps.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm trying to go small. Small and simple.
Somebody
Enough experimenting.
at the class the other day was like, "What's the biggest thing you made?" I'm like, "I don't work big.
Yeah.
I don't." Like, but Sarah though.
I'm gonna
There's
try to
stuff.
make this one squat. So maybe I need to wrap that way one more time.
I'm working on more gnomes too recently. The bottle toppers.
I haven't made those in a long, long time either.
They're a lot of fun.
Bonnie Roberts said, I bought a real blue pumpkin last year and it's still good. Shouldn't it be rotting?
Whoa!
That's crazy.
Wait, where does Bonnie live? Where do you live, Bonnie? That, you know what? And last year, we had some real bad pumpkin luck around here. I don't know if you guys remember, but I bought 3 pumpkins from my usual place last year, and they went to mush in within a week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There was some blight or something, like some kind of worm or something. I don't know.
Something.
So hopefully they hold up better this year. But last year I had volunteer pumpkins in my yard that were very big and happy. They were like the dark, almost like a squash, like the dark blue, green.
Mm. I always think it's funny in the compost pile.
Yes,
How many?
That's where mine.
How many pumpkins
Mine
tend
hailed
to?
from the compost.
Bonnie's from Louisiana, but the
Okay.
pumpkin's been inside.
Oh wow.
Oh, inside. Wow.
It's a very hardy pumpkin.
All right, I'm still doing the 8. How do you do 6? It's like you have to bisect
Mm-hmm.
in some off-centered way.
Yes. Thirds.
Laura said it was squash vine borer.
Oh.
That's what ruined
Mhm.
What was that? Was that was Laura said that?
the squash vine borer.
Okay. Finger, please.
Don't do it too small, Sarah. They need to be able to see what you're doing.
Oh, did I do?
Little
No,
bit. There you go.
they're just saying that.
Yeah.
And yes, that is a wool yarn.
Wool yarn. I have 8 sections.
8.
It's a little itty bitty, and I think I'll just leave it this orange and do like neps and a cute stem on it. I'll do the green neps to show you how those look.
You're gonna a little bit of this when you're blending the neps. This is the
Oh, sure. That
you
yeah,
know
that
because
would be
it really
great.
does.
It is more
coordinate
dynamic.
well.
I think I'm gonna put. Let's see if I can get it to squish around. So I'll show one more body too, because so my people who were with me last night, they were going softer, and before they did the yarn, they were kind of like making them oval or getting a dip on one side, or kind of changing the shape a little bit so that it wasn't just round.
Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the small ones, like, that's a piece of cake, right?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're really super fast.
I love a satisfying quick
Mhm.
make. Oh, I like that already. Now, I don't know if I can do the locks stem on such a little one, but I might try it. Okay, so I've got the moss neps. I'm gonna break them open.
You could use embroidery thread or twine, like if it's tiny.
I wonder
You
about.
could use something small.
Yeah, I use like hemp twine, or just something.
For a really little one.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the embroidery thread though, because it's 6 little tiny pieces. I don't know. Would stabbing like
Oh,
damage that thread a bit more?
this is Harvest Moon,
Mm-hmm.
so it has a little more interest than.
Ooh, the neps.
So I'm curious with the twisted one. I'm gonna try that with the gradation and a little bit of other colors on there too. On the box. Lighter to darker area.
That's fun.
Ooh, it's nice and wartsy.
Yeah.
Karen Lewis is on, and she said one of her favorite classes was the lock dyeing.
Mm.
Marcia did that.
I was
I
thinking
did
about
it
that
a
the
couple
other
of
day.
times, but that was a long time ago. Did you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we did that, and now we have an even better setup back there, thanks
Yeah.
to Talbot and his
Do you
thinking.
No, I'm just it's a little work aside. Could a 4x4 countertop work in that new center area?
No, that would be too short. So the 6 foot table that we have it on, to have the 2 double burners side by side, like that 6 foot table, there's barely enough room
Okay, it needs to be
to like
6 feet.
lay like the dies in
Okay.
there and move
Okay.
around.
Okay.
But I was actually thinking about that too. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have like, you know, all 4 on like an island type of setup?
Because that's what I have is an island, a butcher 4x4 butcher block island.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's available.
Oh.
That way.
Oh,
I like this little wordy dude.
it's cool.
Maybe I'll try a wrapped stem. Let's see if I have what I need here. And this is a little after the fact. I should have put. Okay. Ooh, what are you making?
So this is thinking of a gradation. So I'm doing the lighter to darker,
Mm-hmm.
and then I flipped it over because that's the back side.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the top, this will be the bottom, and the outside edge here. So when I flip it back around, what I was thinking is I want the locks to peek up through the spiral part here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's complex.
My brain, I'm working it out. Oh,
I'm
there's
gonna wrap a stem and see what happens.
Mhm. I'm gonna guess at the end, if you're doing it this way, it just kind of, you know, you can attach it as you go.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for the skinny green look.
Cherie said she watched someone on TikTok stab while holding it right in their palm.
Oh, you do it all the time.
I see that. Oh. Were you the one, or Kyla? Who? No air stabbing.
No, it's the worst.
I remind everybody when I teach that. No air stabbing. Put it down on your surface. Need less band-aids that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen you make a wire stem before.
I know. Just gonna stick her on there. It's not gonna be my usual armature lockdown construction, but that's okay. I think I can do it pretty solid.
Sue Bingham says recently there were pictures of Milo on Fanfare and there was a mention of filming. Any hints?
What? What did you do? Did I say
There was
something?
No, the Milo selfie.
The Milo with the
Attempt.
Milo,
Yes.
and we mentioned filming.
We mentioned filming. So there's some excitement about
Yeah.
filming.
I wonder.
No hints.
I can give a little hint.
It's really awesome.
It is really awesome, and I'm super excited.
Every time I come in here, I get more and more excited. Like, ooh, what else are you making?
So if I had done this before I put the neps on, it would be like way more incorporated in there. You know what I mean? But I didn't, so I'm sticking her on now. I just tried to put my 2 wire ends into the into a groove.
Into a groove, yeah.
Trisha just accused you of smirking.
I'm sure I do all kinds of things. I know I do. Oh, I like this one. I like this one better than my first one.
You're not supposed to change the subject.
Or just blatantly ignore things.
Okay, I'll
Say nothing. Nothing. I don't know why everyone's excited. We don't ever do anything cool here.
I'll
No,
say
never.
I'm gonna ignore Kyla this one, just this once, and say that yeah, so our October Fiber Fairy is a big one because we only have one in the fall, and that's what we've been working on, and that's what we're excited about. So that's what we're looking forward to. That's all I'm saying. Is that okay?
All you're saying.
I have a really hard
It's all
time keeping
good.
secrets. Just tape.
What's that?
It's so good. I
Yeah.
hope people have good little wish lists.
Yep. Have a
Because they
good-
aren't going to want to miss out.
No, and it's been a really handsome. Ooh.
That's pretty. Yeah. It didn't keep its lock form.
Yeah, it was probably some weird random
I just was
bit in there.
Yeah.
Look at those colors.
I know. I was like, we could use it. Oh, I like purple on there. Does that get too witchy?
No, it's perfect.
Should I do a little, just short?
You know, even like these locks, when you pull them apart, it's like little surprises in there.
Yes. Yeah. This
It's
technique of lock dyeing is.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
All right. This is one of my favorites. Do we have a pumpkin box? We're gonna have to have a pumpkin box. Is there a pumpkin box?
I don't know.
You can have a pumpkin basket.
No, a traveling pumpkin box.
Oh.
I think somebody was talking about that.
I feel
on
like somebody started it, and
Fanfare,
I.
right?
Trisha said it's someone special's birthday in 13 days.
You guys, first of all, you can't top last year. I'm sorry. And there's no need to. That was a super duper duper special day. And that was enough for the rest of my life. It was wonderful. I felt I had such a good time. And I was overwhelmed.
You were. I haven't.
Yeah.
You were all verklempt.
That's the right word. I'm glad you said that. I couldn't have pronounced it correctly.
Diane said 51 is the new 50.
I'm hoping 60 is the new 50.
If you ask Jennifer, 50 is the new 26.
26.
Yeah, Jennifer's going to be younger than me
Mhm.
forever. I really love my little pumpkin.
I really
cute.
like that one a lot.
How can I raise this pumpkin to cuteness elevation? I don't know.
You know, I don't think all pumpkins need to be cute, though. You know, like, you kind of have to have some that just add texture and gnarly to the background of things.
Well, I just want to be excited about it. That's all.
Dude, that stem is awesome.
Yeah, the stem is good.
It's really good. Anyways, the stems are like so much fun sometimes, which is probably why I have
Maybe
a lot
I
of them.
need to make it this shape. Maybe that's why I don't like it, because I'm trying to make it.
You like I'm short and squatty.
I'm just gonna change it now.
Ooh,
Squish it.
Trisha's 60 this year.
Yay, the new 50. We'll be 50 together. We'll be 51 together.
Polly will be 78 November 12th.
Nice.
Happy birthdays. I like it better trying not to be tall. And I think I have to stab it with this thing.
I was gonna ask if you would tie it down a bit more. Like, would you
Tie it
put like a
down more?
secret tie in there just to like keep it squat, or do you think stabbing will do
a
it enough?
secret tie.
Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like if you
thread
wanted
it
it,
through.
okay.
like I guess that would be a thing if it wasn't able to, maybe because it was a little looser.
a secret tie.
Like with a needle stitched through.
Maybe.
Do a little surgery.
And come back
pull
and
it
then
down.
pull it.
Yeah. If you needed to, if not, maybe just stabbing it enough.
I think I just have to stab it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I make a third one? What time is it? Oh, I have time.
All the time
Lee,
for pumpkins.
bye Lee. I should do something really weird.
You know what? I'm really curious to try. So I'm going to start with the round base, but then
Okay.
what if we did, like, you know, some of them have the bigger lobes at the top. You know, like, not symmetrical. Like really,
What's this? Can I have this?
you can have whatever you want. It's all yours, Sarah.
Bigger lobes at the top.
Yeah, you know, like how you made yours where it was more puckered at the top. But then what if you did other shapes? You know, so that when you tie it down, maybe tie it down.
I'm gonna make a blue one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put teal in it.
Mm. I'm gonna work this through.
And I'm gonna do the what am I trying to say? No. I'm gonna do the taco top again.
The taco top?
Yeah.
The lunchtime?
And I have a weird lump. And I'm gonna do something with this weird lump. No, I'm gonna take the lump out.
Yeah, lumps are, you know, it's like. I don't know.
But I would like to try to get a dip. So let's do this. This. Okay, taco top. I'm gonna do the taco top in green. Not for any reason other than it's conveniently located right next to me. We lost our captain.
You mentioned food.
She mentioned food.
I did. I was like, ooh,
Uh,
tacos, lunch.
tacos.
I don't think I ever get sick of eating tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas.
What are you making now?
I'm working on some little bumps on lobes, like on the top part to make it.
Yeah. That's how I started doing that one, and I was like,
And
that's
then
gonna
it
take
just-
forever.
yeah.
So then I'm trying this technique.
Well, you did have like 15 sections. Just kidding.
Yes.
And I think on the Zully tool, it does make for smaller. Actually, when we did the video and we did those segments, I found that this morning and I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I should have. We did it with core wool, and I was like, I probably should have done it with a layer of core and top so that I didn't have to go back over it again.
Yeah, it did. It took a long time.
And again, 6 segments.
Yeah.
That's it. Do you have the little cutters over there?
Yes.
I'm gonna cut the extra.
Rena was asking when the female figure course, like how's that going?
Yeah, it's it got a little bit put on just as we were working on our Fiber Fairy stuff, but it's going. I have some side projects that I'm excited about that are going with it, and really it's all figured out. And we have a date on the calendar to film, so that's the really big thing. Filming it's one of the really big things. So filming the course, and then I make all of the digital like information, the images, the PDFs, the
It's a lot of work.
so yeah, it is. It's a lot. But when it's done, it's gonna be awesome and good. I'm excited about it. Okay, I'm gonna do yarn. I'm not gonna do 16 sections.
Good.
And then I'm gonna do top coat color. I haven't done that yet.
Do you have the full moon over there?
Yes.
Somewhere. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna use Blue Moon, and what is this? What is?
Is it pine? Is it
that pine?
really
I
green?
want,
There was
what's
a
this one?
It's
blue.
merino.
This one.
Oh, that's merino? No.
it's
This one?
pine.
Mm-mm. Oh my god, I love this one.
Time?
Yes. It's actually changed a bit too. Like,
Yeah, it did
slightly.
change a
Like
little bit.
it's beautiful. I mean,
Okay. So I have my taco
Oh,
on top.
someone asked were you gonna put the stem on now? Because you said something last time about
No, I think
stems usually last. Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm just trying to keep this dent. I think what happens is when you do the yarn, you can lose that dent a little bit, but I'm gonna see what I can do here. But the yarn really does work. Like it's such a good way to get it sectioned off. Did anybody say they're gonna make a pumpkin box? Or
Someone
that we
said
have
there
a pumpkin?
was a pumpkin box.
Okay. I thought someone maybe asked me if she could make a pumpkin box. But then we also had like the sea animal one. Like I think I'm just getting confused.
We're
You know
such a
what?
good community.
I'm gonna tie a knot. It is a good community. I'm gonna tie a knot because what I want to do is get this to not float. I want to get it like stuck down in there.
Let me know when you're ready for my finger. Oh yeah, wow.
It's gonna float. You know what I mean? Like no
Oh,
matter what I
yeah.
do, when I pull it, it's gonna float unless I go
Ooh.
really tight. But then like as soon as I change direction, it wants to float. That's all right. I'll get it. I'll
Yeah.
get it.
Could tie a knot. Was it the Shining with the
Red
the finger that
Laura said clip the dent before tying it.
clip the dent. I don't know what that means.
So that the string falls between
like
pieces, the sections.
Oh, but I want the string to make the dent. Okay. I think the trick is actually getting it really tight so that the string's not
that's really
floating.
man, that's really tight. There you
Okay.
go. I think you took some skin with you on that one.
Yeah.
That was
Sorry,
tight.
I'm sorry.
That's all, no, it's all good. Strong fingers.
Okay, well, I could do a little bit. Yeah. It did help to go
Really tight.
really tight.
Someone asked what's a pumpkin box.
The pumpkin box is a traveling box of pumpkins where you put one in and take one out. And it started with a Sprite box, and then there was a bunny box. And what else? I feel like there's a few boxes going on now.
And so are these just people on Fanfare that have?
Yeah, someone organized.
There's a contact
our
person?
First one, and then whenever people get one, they post a picture of what they kept, and then that's the chance for anyone who wants to jump in on it.
Oh.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it
they
is
have a
something
few
that happens
days.
through
You can jump
fanfare.
in on it. Then you get added to the queue, and
a
then
mouse. There was a mouse box.
a
And
mouse box.
I'm going to assume that shipping is just within the United States because international is insanely crazy. Expensive?
That is the way that some of them. I'm not sure if all of them were set up that way, but I know that some of them were.
Yeah.
Bonnie's asking any guess on when the spinning tools will be available.
We finally got
Oh, really?
some information
Oh, good.
that the drop spindles, it was something like, oh boy, I don't remember, I don't want to say, but maybe like 2 weeks, because I remember I was like, yay.
But not indefinitely, which it's been.
Yeah,
No
we
idea
were
how
given
long.
no indication of the timing for a long time. All right, so I put moss, thyme, and pine, and I'm folding over the top to exaggerate that dent again to reaffirm it, and then I'm letting the fringe come down the section and cover the pumpkin. And I blended these colors without a lot of blending. Like I wanted it to be
Stripey.
stripey, yeah.
Stephen Willett is not making the drop spindles.
No, we went with Ashford, and I was about ready to change. But I have other Ashford products, and I really like them. And they carry the line, you know, they have the Nitty Noddy and the drop spindle, and yeah. Stephen Willett makes these beautiful supported spindles. I don't know that he has a drop spindle design. So his spindle has like a blown glass weight on it. Do you remember those? We saw them at Cheaper
so
Bowl.
pretty.
And then you use it with a little bowl, I think. I've never used that kind. Well, I'm excited about this pumpkin too. So tell us how you guys are making out on the new website, and if you like it and what you like about it.
Pictures are beautiful.
The pictures look
Oh
amazing.
my
That
gosh.
was Talbot did a lot of work to get them all sized properly. We're liking it so far. I think Kyla still is coming out of the process of it.
What? Website?
Yeah, like
The website, yeah. Just
uh-huh.
you're not ready to be. You're not quite ready to be
I-
in love with it yet. You're still
I think Kyla-
PTSD.
There's things we love about it, and there's a lot of questions that
Yes.
we're learning. And unfamiliar is always a little uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's just been a big month on all fronts,
right.
so my brain hurts for more reasons than just
Yeah.
the website. What would you say a spindle is? Somebody doesn't know. It's
Oh,
for
there's a-
spinning,
There's
but
a
is
whole
it like weight and gravity that basically?
momentum.
there's a whole bin of them in the middle room.
Okay.
We can bring them out.
I remember trying it, and then I had to get on a little step stool
Yeah.
because I'm so short, and I was trying to do it, and I was just like, okay, I just didn't quite have the right rhythm for it.
So a spindle, very simply, I think is a place that you can wind yarn onto. But yeah. So I have always used the bottom weighted. We did find a brand that maybe eventually if we were going to expand what we carry, that has one that has a notch and it's bottom weighted, or it has a hook on the other end and you can use it top weighted. But I've never used top weighted, so I'm not like super familiar with how that works. but you load up, you spin it, and then you build up twist, and then you draft your wool out from your hand, and it makes yarn. And then once that's all twisted, then you take this off and load it onto your spindle. So once we have the spindle, now I don't know what the word is on the niddy noddy. You don't have to have a niddy noddy. The niddy noddy is what helps you make a skein. So it just looks like this, and then you wrap your yarn onto it, and that's what makes a skein like this.
Will it
Awesome.
be a big spindle to make chunky yarn like you made, or you made that yarn on a wheel?
This yarn I made on a wheel. It's a little hard to make art yarn on a drop spindle. I did make this, which looks like a hot mess right now, but
so cool.
once I take it off, I think it'll look pretty good. So I spun kind of a chunky textured bat that I made on the blending board, and then I plied it back on itself. So that helps make it chunkier.
Okay.
But mainly, you know, it's not an easy way to make an art yarn. But, you know, I maybe we'll get good at it. I haven't really done it a ton, so ooh, I'm gonna put some saffron neffs on here, I think. Or onion would be cool. Is that this? No, that's bark. Bark. Okay, I'll find them. They're somewhere.
Is a spindle really the gateway to a spinning wheel?
Yes. Exactly. You got it. But it is like, it's less, so spinning wheel. So when I went out to visit Lee in Texas the first time, she taught me how to spin. And a spinning wheel, like, you almost sort of need to be left, you need to be shown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to be kind of left alone because it's so awkward at first to get the timing of your foot with the drafting and not overspinning it. And yeah, it just takes a bit of practice.
Trisha said a spinner is a gateway to buying a bigger house. And what do you use the yarn for? People are asking.
Well, that's a good question. I sort of collect it. I don't crochet or knit. If you did, you could make all kinds of stuff with it. I use it in fiber art projects like 2D needle felting. You know, just use it here and there. I love to spin like a big chunky yarn as a garland for a Christmas tree. I'm using it to create other textiles, which you guys will learn about shortly.
It's great on nests and elf hats
Yeah.
and Sprite, like the
Yeah.
little like waistband or skirts or.
It's a beautiful texture, you know, just to incorporate. I'm incorporating it into our October Fiber Fairy project. So, our secret Fiber Fairy project.
How do you
secret
get
for
it
now.
off the tree?
Oh, it just comes off.
Yeah, you don't
Just lift it off.
intertwine it, right? You just lay it on the.
Just lay it bow to
Drapes.
bow. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been using the same one for a long time. All right, so I'm happy with this. It's fun, and it has it even has like a little bit of brown showing through, which I don't mind. needs to be stabbed more, but I'm going to go ahead and work on the stem because I can stab any old time. And I'm happy with the taco technique dip that I got.
Nice. I did the little bit of extra bulk so that it's not super symmetrical.
So sweet.
And that was just adding the core, and then I covered it up with the top coat.
What?
Joyce says, I just got here. I heard drop spindle in the ether and ran to YouTube.
Yeah,
Joyce was like, what?
Joyce is going to help us, I think, end up helping us because Joyce knows a lot more about spinning on a drop spindle than I do. A lot more experience. But there's so much you can do. Okay, my stem. What you have over here? I'm taking some of this. I want.
Oh God! Look at those colors.
Yeah, I want that in my stem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'll use cocoa this time as the base. Got a little
have it
cocoa
over there?
loco. I have
Is there some over on the table?
no.
It was
I'm
here
sure I have
somewhere.
something. Like we don't need to. Oh, I can use.
Where'd it go?
I can use green even. I can use green with cocoa on top. Okay. Or do I want green on top? Wow, that would be... Alright, I'm trying it. I'm going to put some locks in it. And some... I did like the way it looked when I did it afterwards.
I've never used Neps. Never. First time.
Never on a 3D project?
I've
Or
just never used Neps. I don't know why. I've just never had the opportunity.
So Sarah, you're just laying them vertically with a little space in between each?
I think you don't really want space because when you roll it, it like makes space.
Okay.
But I'm going to do some and then I'm going to fold it and add more because that seemed to be what I liked the last time. Because I liked when I added more that all the oh no, I know what I want to do. I'm gonna add more and I want the lock tips to come off down here.
So are you putting all the cut ends on one side and the...
Now I'm putting all the lock ends coming down so
Okay.
that when I roll it, they're pointing down. I forgot that that's how I did it. I couldn't remember.
Diane's saying add the orange. A bit of orange on the side. I don't know if that's a lock or orange fiber.
To me?
I don't know. I think so. I'm like trying
She
to
must see
follow.
something that I don't see. Ooh, these are lamb locks. These are so pretty.
The little fiber art locks. I'm adding some orange nips. Ooh, there's a random.
Oh,
That's the onion, isn't it?
that's the onion.
That little.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. Which one's this?
That's fig. I know every time. Every time. And Talbot's not back there as much, so I can't be like, Talbot, look at this one. Talbot's like, yeah, look at that one. Looks just like the last ones. Like, no, but look.
Right. I just put a lot because, but more is better. But I think I'm gonna take. Oh, what can I take? I feel like I've got too much bulk going on here. Okay, I'm gonna make my taco. And I'm gonna try to roll it. You know what? I'm gonna try to roll it really tight. Let me see if this helps me do that. So when you roll it like this, I'm losing a lot of locks are going into the inside. But that's okay. It's nice having that core in there to really be able to stab into and hold everything that you're doing together.
So then you sort of stab along.
You're kind of stabbing in between the locks.
Okay. That looks cool, Marsha.
Yeah, I did not like the neps just as they were. Like, so I wanted to kind of bury them underneath. You know, where you can see them a little bit, but it was just too
glaring.
Yeah, it was like too much. So, but I wanted to just have a little bit more texture down there.
You guys, like a month from now, are gonna get wool bits and be like, "Yep, that was pumpkin day." So this is fun because then you have all this stuff sticking off.
Yeah, that's yes, it's fun, and then you can add more if you need more. So there's that top coat.
Yeah, I would like to be able to make it more delicate, but I have to work on that technique, I guess.
I loved how was it a couple years ago now when Jennifer just took the big, like when we had the big 4 ounces of core wool and she just made a pumpkin with that.
Yeah, she didn't even do anything.
She was just like, I'm just wrapping it, and
She didn't even unbelt it, did she?
No, she just left
awesome.
it the way it was, belted.
it's like, that is a great way to just use it up.
Now, do I want to put these into...
I think making pumpkins is one of my favorite group activities.
Favorite things to teach? Or...
Even like when I have my girlfriends over and we do like, we call them bead nights because we typically do beading stuff, but then they're like, oh, do you want to do felting? And I'm like, yes! And pumpkins have always been like, they're fun because, you know, it's such a simple shape and then you just, it's like everybody just kind of goes and does their thing and they all look so different.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can, you know, eat while you're doing it, and we always do potluck and drinking and desserts.
Nice.
It's becoming a very hairy looking pumpkin. It's kind of nice being able to do something just to do it without having to be like, oh, I need to go and sell these.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I'm just making it because I want to play.
People are loving the teal pumpkin.
cool. Yeah, I like it. I feel like it needs a little something. Some more. Definitely needs more felting. It needs the punch tool, but the punch tool's so loud. I don't.
Do it.
I like to use it during a tutorial. Let's see. I know.
But it's so satisfying.
These are incredible.
I was having a very good day that day when I was dyeing those.
Oh
It wasn't
my
just like, oh, I have to
gosh.
get it done. It was like,
They're
ooh.
so pretty. Like, look at this. Goes from green to purple,
Mhm.
like a muted green to purple.
I think too, having more dye pots now, I have to tend more of them.
Okay.
So I have to stop. Like, I can't go in and play with it. I have to, like, I put the dye
Okay.
in, and then it settles. Like, I'm stopping playing with it. Like, don't touch it. Walk away. I think that's one of those key
Yeah.
things. So I'm using the top coat to put these naps on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That way it blends, and
Yep.
ideally I would have done this before I did the locks, but you just roll with it.
Yeah, I don't know what this. You got any ideas over there, Kyla?
Terry just said, how about a leaf for the pumpkins?
Yeah, a leaf could be cool. I'm too lazy to needle felt a leaf, but I do have some wet felted pieces that I could.
I was going to ask, would you use any of that pre-felt too?
Yeah. I feel like this stem is a little more crazy looking than my other stem. Because I put more weird colors in there.
This is like a Sasquatch pumpkin here. Super hairy.
It is.
It's weird. And blend it in more.
I like it. Let me see what
It's something.
saffron nips look like on here.
Oh, there's
Oh, Diane might get her pop of orange. She's like, orange! Orange!
Mm-hmm.
I know. Where do we want the orange? What do you want me to do with orange? I could do. I feel like that's too much.
Too
That's
contrast.
distracting. Let's try it with a little bit of top coat on it and see what happens.
But it is really annoying when you stab the nip.
No.
It's like,
Oh,
ugh. Yeah, that top coat's like magic though.
Terry tried a leaf and now it's living inside the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. So many things inside pumpkins.
We're gonna have a run on time.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm,
There's-
I'm saying it right? That's what it
Mhm.
is. Like, I don't want to.
Let me look. Let me make sure.
Yeah, there are a bunch of colors that have multiple colors in it.
Yeah.
I just think get them all. So many.
It's time because mint julep is.
It's another pretty one.
Okay, I do like that, but I'm not going to do too much of it. I'm just going to
Yeah.
do a couple little
Yeah.
spots of it. Stab the net. We got to come up with a name for that.
You know, it's almost like when somebody's driving a stick shift for the first time, and like you know, it's like that, like
needle popping
jerk.
off the record.
Like it's like what? Whoa.
All right, I'm gonna put some there, and then just a little section over there.
It's like stalling.
You have is your Jeep manual or automatic?
It's manual.
It's so much fun. When I was in high school,
Teaching the 16-year-old.
I was gonna say
manual.
I taught one of my friends, and I got kicked out of the car because I was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
I'm hankering for a manual. I even just looked up on Facebook Marketplace manual.
The manual.
Yeah. There's a lot of random manuals. There's a Tacoma.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very
I'm
fuzzy.
not in the market for a car.
Diane's
Or a
excited
dog.
about the orange of a car or a dog.
Even though I was on Pet Finder.
Oh.
Yeah, good. It's pretty. It looks pretty.
The time top coat definitely tones it down, like
Yeah.
just the tiniest bit.
That thing's a hot mess.
It
It's
is.
just crazy.
It's like the it of pumpkins. It's it.
It's something, all right.
But it's good. It's good to do that.
I really, I think I enjoy the areas that have this, and this is the one that I bulked out, did extra, and which is all gone now. It's like, what's too much? I think I would have kept the locks in a different tonal palette
Yeah, that's the
and a little
problem.
up higher versus down so low, but it's all about figuring it out next time I know.
So if you did a simple stem, you
Mhm.
could put it on first, then do your taco. So someone should try that
Mhm.
so that the stem doesn't totally gobble up that little divot that you made.
Yeah,
But then you got to get your pretty on with some.
and this one was the gradation of
Okay.
the stem, and then I put locks on the bottom
Yeah.
part of the stem, and then I did the bulbous pumpkin, and then I did the net. It was like a whole lot of. It was like everything on one, and it should be a little bit on everything. Ooh,
I don't know.
nice,
Thank you.
very cool.
I kind of want to lighten something up over here.
Stabbing the neps is a snap.
It's just
Snapping.
It's a snap. It's like a snag, but a snap.
Mm-hmm. God, these locks, I just can't.
I know.
This is ridiculous. And even like the fuzzy locks, I like them too because it can build up a little bit more in the background if you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the teeny.
Oh
tiny
yeah, the
tips.
fuzzy locks are like a whole different texture.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, when you first started needle felting, how many hours did you put in to get so good?
I'll tell you what. I mean, I've said it before. You guys have heard this story before, but in 2012, I just sat and felted and ate
Salami and cheese.
salami and cheese. And I was loving life. I was like, this is great. Like, oh man, I think I made something like 300 animals that year. And the reason
Wow.
I know is because I bought tags for them and the tags were gone. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
I had an order of tags. So it was a really cool time of like discovery. I didn't know anything about fiber. So, learning all of that, what worked and why, and my early stuff was, not evolved at all. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was just wrapping a piece of pipe cleaner Like my first foxes even had like black pipe cleaner legs, and they were like 3 colors. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, it's a fox. And then it just got more and more elaborate, and you know, exploring armatures was definitely a huge part of growing the technique.
Speaking of locks,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, I don't know what the probably
You
just
might
see
have
the yeah.
Ooh, what's
That's
that?
squash blossoms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So these are. I just, you know, it was fun because right around the time when all these were coming to life was when we were doing the pumpkin patch. But look at, you know, and I remember naming these.
Yeah. Oh, I love that pop of.
And so these are the adult ewe fleeces.
Okay.
Ewe or ram. So they're bigger, you know,
Okay.
pearls. So that's the squash blossoms. This is pumpkin patch, and this is also what we use. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Yeah.
You know, so they're similar, but they're different because
Hold
this
them up
has
here.
more purple and red
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And then the squash blossoms, you know, keeps that more of that.
Geez, those like almost like autumn colors.
Yeah. So. And then is we were having discussions before about, well, why do we have similar, like, so this is a squash blossom, and this is the autumn fiber art locks. And the autumn fiber art locks are made with border luster lamb.
Okay.
So they're tiny little things. So yeah, similar color palettes, but the lamb locks take things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors, look at these tiny little,
Oh, so cool.
let me see them. You know, so depending on what scale you're working on and what you want. So many colors.
All right, so I put a blend of Blue Moon and Thyme kind of around the bottom. Just felt like the pumpkin needed a little bit more of a dynamic color scheme.
Trying to be quiet with the bags. Here's your favorite. Here's
Talbot's favorite.
this is the bronze fiber
Bronze?
art locks.
Yeah. Did I say something else was my favorite? Because bronze is my favorite.
Yeah.
And fig and succulent.
And every time. So look at, oh my gosh,
That is amazing.
right?
That's like that's the color palette of my house.
Mm. You just can't. You have to order every one of them. I did.
Says Marcia.
Yes.
Okay,
Options.
I like my last pumpkin. My first pumpkin, you know, we got the cool stem going on.
I like the texture on it.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll do something to her.
Mm-hmm. And the little one with your.
Little one, I love this
Mhm.
one. I dig it.
I lost the tiny ones.
Oh, they're
They're
so
like.
sweet. They're so cute. I love that lock.
It's just so. Mm-hmm. This way.
Is there anything else we need to mention before we go?
I told people salami and cheese was critical.
To your beginning felting
Yes.
journey.
Unless you're like vegan and lactose intolerant. And then
Well, I am lactose intolerant, which I didn't know, so I was loving life, but I was also like, what's wrong with me?
Suffering a little bit.
I think I'll stab some more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good time, like having the Etsy shop and just making things and but then it was also fun to realize that I wanted to sell the products and teach, and so that was a cool shift.
Can I just say, whenever I teach a class, I have to gush, but I'm wearing black, so I'm wearing,
I know,
I'm wearing it all. You're blendy. I just have to gush about you during class, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Like, people, I have to talk about Sarah a little bit because, I mean, honestly, this is amazing that, you know, I'm doing this because Molly introduced me to you.
Molly was here last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
And, you know, and getting a job and working. I never would have thought that this was such a thing, and it's grown over the years, and all these
has.
products. Like,
It has.
you make our journey easy because we have all this really cool stuff to use.
Thank you.
So thank you.
What's cool is
Yeah.
even is that there's so much more we want to do. Like we're just like we've got to spin and we've got more tutorials to teach and more fiber to explore and I mean I've made so many pumpkins and we're still finding new ways or doing new things. So revisiting simple projects is it's kind of like it's a really relaxing thing to do. Sometimes you need to push and try something bigger or try something you've never done before and go into uncharted water. And sometimes you just want to like float around where it's nice and relaxing. But you discover things when you do that as well. So
Like Crazy Hairy Pumpkins.
and we are having a shortage, a supply issue right now, but it's been pretty amazing how there's still so much to do. Like, even though we don't have no nude, hopefully some of you still have some
I
of it.
have my little stash at home.
But,
Little noses.
and it's a bummer when you're like, okay, I've always used this, I want to use it. But, like, this medium is so forgiving in that way as well. So you can, we can keep adapting. And what's this one? Oh, I guess I made that. I think I made this one
I was
last
going to
night.
say that one's really...
I like the ochre, and I like that there's a little pops of paradise in there. It's okay, Talbot. So we thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of something that we love so much, because the inspiration just goes back and forth. Trust me, like it keeps me very fueled to see what you guys are doing and know that you're enjoying the live tutorials and excited about the things that we have coming up. Even though some of them are mysteries, you're excited about the mystery. Are there any questions or anything?
No,
Okay.
just people saying thanks and they appreciate the inspiration and all that good stuff.
Yeah, good. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm said enough. I felt it enough and said enough, and thanks for spending your Sunday with us. And I can't wait to see, I'm sure we're going to see some pumpkins pop up in our group, and
I want to see the color combinations that people come up with.
have fun with it. Like, I think that's sort of why, that's what happened last night, was the people who were with me were just like, they were, but it was all, let me finish the sentence. They were mixing a lot of colors that I never would have guided them to do. Like, because I really did kind of leave it open-ended more with a demo. And then they inspired me, and it's fun to take the pressure off and just try weird stuff.
Yes.
And to think about other techniques that we use in other ways, and like, okay, what else can I use to elevate something as simple as a pumpkin. So, well,
Absolutely.
okay, so thank you for joining us on this Sunday, and we see you next
Sherafina?
well, we have Sherafina on the 28th. It's a Wednesday for those of you who are able to make it to the shop. We look forward to that. I had an idea about a webinar, and I haven't put it on the calendar yet, and I haven't figured out how to have a webinar yet. So I'm going to look into that. But there was a lot of questions about commissions. So I have a lot to say about handling commissions. And so I thought that could be a fun topic of discussion. And then we have Fiber Fairy, and this Fiber Fairy, I can say, has a felt along, so make sure that's on your calendar. And we have a sale, our usual fall
November?
Cyber
Cyber Monday.
Fiber Monday,
Fiber
Fiber
Monday.
Monday, because it's
Not-
not on Cyber
yeah.
Monday, so look out for that. And but yeah, if I can fit another like, you know, live stream in. One idea I also had was to, like, we did the 2D, like 5 people sent their art. I loved that so much, and I was thinking we could do that again, or we could do 3D. Like if a handful of people wanted to send stuff in, you know, when I have something in my hands, I can really feel it and make suggestions. So if there's something that you're sculpting that you know just isn't quite right or you're struggling with, and it went really well. Like I feel like you have to be, you know, you have to be a little bit open to the idea of the critique, and then some people, I think I did work a little bit on their pieces, which I totally don't have to do. Like I don't have to do anything other than handle it. I don't need to work on it, but it was cool in the 2D to see. I was just laying fiber on to illustrate the changes. So we could try something like that. So there's a lot that you could put on the calendar, and there's some things that might pop up as well. So we are always thinking about it.
And you just need to keep being creative and
Christine,
busy.
you could send your horse. That would be good. It's been fun to see that chat go on the university. So, all right, thank you all so much. Thank you, Marcia.
No
and
problem.
Kyla.